And as Tracy was pointing out with regard to religious people, I don't think religious people should be locked up. But I will say, unreservedly, it's a delusion. Dawkins wasn't just creating a witty title when he called his book The God Delusion. It is most definitely a delusion. It may provide some positive benefits on occasion, but from the standpoint of objective reality, the belief that there is a God is a delusion. And I don't say that to be insulting. It's just a matter of fact. If it wasn't a delusion, then we would be able to identify it, observe it, measure it. And I'm not saying, oh, we're going to take out a tape measure and measure God. I'm talking about the scientific process by which we define reality, the interaction of not only the experiences of my different senses, but the confirmation between individuals. You know, if I hold this pen up and everybody says, I don't see a pen, obviously I'm going a little crazy. Obviously there's something wrong with my head and I'm hallucinating. Right. But if everybody else sees the same pen and we all agree on it, then we're off to a pretty good bet. Now, somebody earlier mentioned this thing about you can't prove absolutely, and I'll just, for the millionth time, I throw out the notion of absolute certainty completely. I disregard it. It's a red herring. It doesn't matter. Beliefs are measured in degrees of certainty, and I never reach an absolute. Outside of tautologies, I know that my name is Matt because I've been defined that particular way. Outside of definitional tautologies, I don't, and my own existence, which is another form of tautology, I don't know anything to an absolute degree of certainty. I don't believe anything to an absolute, and I don't prefer to deal in those terms. We talk about how certain I am about certain things. Well, I'm as certain that there's no God as I am that there's no fairies or pixies or leprechauns. Am I absolutely certain? No. But that doesn't matter. We don't live our lives that way. Are you absolutely certain that when you press your accelerator to pull out into traffic that your car is actually going to move at the rate that you anticipate that it does, and that you're not going to actually be T-boned and kill 15 people? No. But you sure do take actions based on that. And if that's okay, if that's justifiable, then drop this notion of absolute certainty and don't come and say, you can't absolutely prove that God doesn't exist, because first of all, I don't have the burden of proof. You do. If you think God exists, you have the burden of proof, period. Secondly, absolutes don't matter. We don't know, I don't claim that evolution is absolutely true, but it's a fact. It's an observed fact. And the theory that we have that explains it, that involves natural selection, that compromises, includes common descent and these other things, those are theories that are so sound, we believe them to such a degree of certainty that it is patently absurd to think that they would be wrong. And it's insane to think that we should chuck those in favor of magic man done it. But that's today's rant.
The God of the Old Testament is arguably the most unpleasant character in all fiction. Jealous and proud of it. A petty, unjust, unforgiving control freak. A vindictive, bloodthirsty ethnic cleanser. A misogynistic, homophobic, racist, infanticidal, genocidal, filicidal, pestilential, megalomaniacal, sadomasochistic, capriciously malevolent bully.